Hey kids, my backdrop today is a long, windy road with lots of ups and downs and curves. And I thought that was a good analogy for what the real estate market is going to be in the next 5 years in California. But I also wanted to ask Google's Gemini, and I used their 2.5 Pro model today to ask them about the real estate forecast in California over the next 5 years. Here's what Gemini had to say. The California real estate market is poised for a period of continued recalibration over the next 5 years, characterized by modest price appreciation, fluctuating sales volumes, and a persistent affordability crisis. While the frenetic pace of the pandemic era market has subsided, a combination of resilient demand, tight inventory, and evolving economic conditions will continue to shape a complex and regionally diverse landscape for homeowners, buyers, and investors through 2029. For 2025, a general consensus among economists and real estate experts point to a slight uptick in both home sales and median prices. The California Association of Realtors forecasts a modest increase in existing single-family home sales and a single-digit rise in the statewide median home price. The anticipated growth is largely predicated on the expectation of slightly lower mortgage interest rates, which could entice some buyers back into the market. However, the lock-in effect, let's scroll down. However, the lock-in effect, where current homeowners are hesitant to sell and give up their low interest rate mortgages, will continue to constrain inventory. Looking ahead to the 5-year horizon, the trajectory of the market will be heavily influenced by several key factors. And then we're going to get into more of it. But this is why I use the image of the long, windy road with lots of ups and downs. Economic headwinds and tailwinds. California's economic performance will be a primary driver of the real estate market. While the state's economy is expected to see moderate growth, potential headwinds such as inflation, geopolitical uncertainty, and shifts in the tech sector could temper job growth and consumer confidence. Conversely, continued innovation in a diverse economy will provide a degree of stability. Interest rate environment. Fluctuations in mortgage interest rates will remain a critical determinant of market activity. While a return to the ultra low rates of 2020 and 2021 is highly unlikely, any sustained period of rate stabilization or modest decline will improve affordability and stimulate demand. Projections from various financial institutions suggest a gradual easing of rates over the next few years, but volatility is expected. Then they get into demographic shifts, persistent housing shortages, and then this is the more important part, I think, here. Year by year outlook. 2025, a year of cautious optimism. Expect a modest rebound in sales volume compared to the lows of recent years, driven by slightly more favorable interest rates. Price growth will likely be in the low to mid single digits statewide. Affordability will remain a significant challenge, with the percentage of households able to afford a median price home hovering at historically low levels. 2026, a balancing act. The market is expected to continue its balancing act. If the economy remains stable and interest rates continue to cooperate, a gradual increase in both sales and prices can be anticipated. However, any economic slowdown could lead to a flattening of price growth. Inventory levels may see a slight improvement as more homeowners adjust to the new market realities. And then 2027 to 2029, the long-term trajectory. The latter half of the 5-year period is subject to greater uncertainty. However, the underlying fundamentals of a large population and limited housing supply suggest that a significant market crash is unlikely. Instead, a pattern of modest single-digit annual price appreciation is the more probable scenario. Regional disparities will likely become more pronounced, with inland areas potentially seeing stronger growth as buyers seek more affordable options. And then residential real estate, a closer look. Home prices statewide, expect average annual home price appreciation to be in the 3 to 5% range over the next 5 years. This is in line with historic appreciation. Historic appreciation has always been in that sort of 3 to 5, 4 to 7, depending on which source you look at. So this is just a return to normalcy, but which is good to see. Sales volume. The number of homes sold is expected to gradually recover from recent lows, but is unlikely to return to the peak levels of the last decade within this forecast period. and affordability. The affordability crisis will persist while wage growth and a potential dip in interest rates may offer some relief. The high baseline of home prices will continue to be a major barrier for many first-time buyers. So this is really good information, but it goes in line with what I've been saying. I feel like we're going to be going sideways for 2025, and then we're going to get a return to normalcy, that 3 to 5% appreciation depending on your specific area. Give me a call, shoot me a DM, let's talk about the numbers, and let's get you into your dream house.